Hello everyone, my name is Thomas Jr. here, aka Mustached, and welcome back to another monthly horror movie review of 3 from Hell from Rob Zombie. So, I think, based on what I saw when I was googling my pick here, is that this is related to the movie 1000 Corpses. In fact, it actually cuts to some news of, in the movie, at the very beginning, to news of the 1000 Corpses. So this is a sequel, I suppose, to that. I don't remember when that movie came out at this point. Anyway. So we see, the start of this where we see a car like driving the 3 people, our 3 outlaws. We have Baby, Otis, and Wolf, or they have different names, but they have like nicknames at this point. And people on the news, because this is a very news-based story, especially during the beginning, you know, people like defending them. It's one of those very awkward moments, because that has happened in the real life. So, very akin to very awkward situations of the real life of like, oh, these people are wanted for murder. People actually consider they may be innocent. Even though we as the viewers quickly see that that is not the case, though. Anywho, so we see that one of their crew, they had like a 4th member, and I forget the actor's name, and I think he actually, unfortunately, he passed away recently, but he's in this movie, so I think, dedicated to him is would have been a nice touch, but I don't know like when this movie wrapped up, but I think that's something he could have added in, just like as a little like, oh yeah. Anyway, so we cut to this interview with Otis being talked to by this guy named Virgil. He's like this interviewer. And we hear him talking about like how the world is made up of people who all they carry is the knife and what the knife is, and whether you're holding the blade part or the sheath part, and those are the only 2 options you have in this world. And we cut to I guess I'll call it a cameo appearance. He's not in the movie terribly long, of a Danny Trejo. His character is not named from what I can remember, but we see Otis and him digging, and then we see a cut in the news, and then we see Danny Trejo get killed. His character get killed, whatever his character's name is. So they escape. Otis and Wolfman escape. We see that. And we see that Virgil, on the opposite news when it comes to it, he's very upset. He lets it go to his pride of like, oh, they got away, and, stuff like that. And Otis and Wolf, as they're like more free to talk about whatever, as they're like doing their thing, they're talking about this old movie, and I didn't write the movie's title down, unfortunately, but it's a movie featuring a character named Bogard, and they're like arguing over which one is that character. We cut back to Baby, who is the female of the 3, and she's being escorted in, I assume, an all-female prison, and all the cops are also all-female, I think, from what I saw anyway. And as she's walking And I also believe this is once again played by Rob Zombie's wife. I think, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. Anyway, she's like, they have like a walk toward the camera thing and her looking like directly at the camera. It's a little awkward, but whatever. Um, so she's there for her parole to see if whether or not she's going to be given a short sentence or a longer sentence. If she's stacked up with another 5 years after her inquiry about whether she's sane or not. And she goes on the attack on one of the cops, Grenda the cop. So as we cut back to our other individuals, Wolf and, well, just Wolf at this point, excuse me, we see these two people hold him up at gunpoint, and the two of them are like arguing over whether or not to shoot this guy, Wolf, and we see just a blood splatter come from off screen. We see that it's Otis shooting the guy. And then they like mess with the lady a little bit. And then we do a jump cut to what they did to her, which is ripping off of her face. We see her face like pinned to a tree, and then we see her bloody face. So we cut back to Baby being moved by the cops, and or by a cop, Grenda, the one who had her nose broken. And this Grenda character has her locked up with two other criminal ladies, and by the time Grenda returns, Baby has survived and killed the other two. And she's like, messing with her too. We cut back to Virgil, moving in a little bit on whatever scene. And he's like trying to figure out who helped Baby like get from one location to another. And he returns home after getting no information that his wife and other friend's wife and another man are tied up, or at least two of them are tied up currently. And he's trying to figure out what's going on. We see Otis and Wolf have arrived at his house. And Otis is like messing with this lady, this woman. And Otis then like shoots the other guy in the chest. So, anyways, we see Baby doing more of her flirt tease, her sexual tease on the female cop, Grenda. All the while that Otis is demanding to see Baby because they're relatives. So that is his demand. So Wolf torments the other lady, this black lady. I didn't catch any of their names, unfortunately. With her mother's ashes, and then just like, ugh. So Otis checks the door, hearing the doorbell being rung. We see that for whatever reason they hired a clown. Yeah, that was a little bit bizarre, but whatever. So Otis brings in, pulls out his gun, and he tells the clown that if he's told to be funny, and then if he makes anyone laugh, he'll be able to be put free or whatever. So the clown goes through his entire routine of what he can try to do, and he's not doing a very good job. But when he pisses himself, that's when they laugh, or at least the two killers laugh, and they kill him anyway, after laughing, and the guy asks if he could be free. Free as in death, I suppose. So anyways, we cut back to Baby, who's hearing Moonlight Sonata, and seeing a ballerina cat perform for her. It's another bizarre scene. and then she's all sad when it ends. So Otis gives Virgil this plan to have Baby moved and then have her freed. And if he doesn't do it, he'll kill the people immediately, but it's not like that matters much. We'll get to that. So he goes to the police station, does some drugs, and makes some calls. And he's like arguing with this other cop that apparently he like slept with at one point. So Grenda is there. She wants to stay in the vicinity, in the immediate vicinity. And then Baby's like messing with him, and like he lets her go. And then Baby waits for Grenda to like arrive inside, and then kills her right in front of sorry, but whoa. Baby grabs and chokes Grenda to death right in front of Victor. That was his name. There we go. So we cut back to our Wolf and Otis, who are just chilling watching TV as the others are suffering and waiting. And Otis puts one of them down and plays some music and then kills the guy he put down. So Virgil makes his way back. He's trying to, say that he's done everything. But everything goes out of whack, and then, I think it was Otis that, holds his wife hostage, and then, Virgil tries to aim and shoot, but then ends up shooting his own wife like an idiot. And then Wolf kills the other lady. Wolf finishes her off, I should say. And then Baby finishes off this naked white lady, who she let run outside and then stabbed her outside as this old woman was just, watching her do that. So Otis mocks Virgil of being the death product and how, flips that around on him with the gun to his head, and then Baby warns them that what she did. So they get out of there, and then they chill at a hotel room somewhere. Anyways, Wolf and Otis are just chilling, playing goldfish or whatever, and Baby's bored, so she decides to see this man and then do her sex appeal thing. So Wolf is talking about what their plans are, and he suggests that they get into the porn industry. And they're having a good old laugh about that. Meanwhile, Baby's having this guy buy a drink for him. And he sort of puts it together that she is the killer that was on the news, and then she says, "Yep," takes out a knife, and then we cut away. So the news gives an update on the situation of the deaths. We see that that's now been covered. And Baby returns offering to go to Mexico. So we slide cut to them traveling to Mexico. Now, I don't know when this movie takes place in terms of date, but I would imagine it's not in the modern times, because I don't think they would get into Mexico that easily. I think there would probably already have people waiting at the border, just in case, and checking IDs and doing all of that kind of stuff. Anyways, they somehow get into Mexico for whatever reason, and they end up in another hotel where this owner says that he'll let them stay there. So he goes downstairs, and we see him call Danny Trejo's son in this movie. And a party goes down as is sort of this sort of distraction just to keep them there. So Baby's talking with Otis about the life of worth, or worth of life, I should say. And then after that, she's like, whatever. So the three of them head out to this party. Um, and Baby ends up joining this knife throwing contest. She hits the bullseye where the other two do not. And the drinking goes on. And we slide cut to the next day. As Otis is getting up from his two ladies, and Wolf is also getting up from his one lady that they were offered. Baby also wakes up at the door to see her little new companion, the small man, and offers to stay with her, and then he's like getting like lured into his small sense of security. So these cars pull up with three coffins, or this one car pulls up with three coffins on it. They're prepping up. Otis is like bumbling about, and Baby's like dancing. They're all separated, by the way, the three of them, and more vans pull up. And Baby sees this and warns the other small guy to help out the others. So, these masked men are coming in to kill the three of them. And Otis is holding back with his gun. Baby pulls her bow out, this bow and arrow that she took from the Virgil's house, and shoots this guy in the neck that comes in, and there was this other guy that just waited down in the stairs and then waited for him to come back up and shot him in the back of the head. So we cut to where Wolf's location is, and we see the lady that he was with is stalling for him. And we see that Wolf has made his way all the way around to where Otis is. I guess they just knew each other's locations somehow. And Baby goes on the attack outside with her bow on the outside, as I mentioned. So Otis and Wolf split up as they make their way out. And Wolf is stopped by the red masked man. And again, how he didn't just kill him there is a little beyond baffling. Honestly, we then we cut to Otis being stopped by another man. The host guy, and then Otis kills the host guy that hosted them into the hotel. Baby is stopped by Red Mask. And then is also captured by him. So we see the two of them are being held, and then the small guy tries to help them out, and in the process he ends up like getting shot in the chest. And then, yeah, he like makes sure the two of them are tied up, is asking for Otis to come out because he's the last of the three. And Wolf is shot in the chest to make sure he comes out, so he does with his gun. So, in a weird move, the masked man offers a machete fight instead of using his guns. And Otis takes it up on this other masked man, while injured little man is trying to help Baby and Wolf get out, and he does so. This ends up enabling them to turn the tides, even though they were surrounded, and again, they had a moment to like fire upon them escaping, but they didn't. But yeah, Otis is able to kill his guy. And then they are able to kill all the other guys. And then we cut to the three of them going to Danny Trejo's son. They unmask him. They place him inside one of the three coffins, and then they wait for his eyes to surrender, whatever that means, and then they burn him alive, and then they walk off. And that was 3 from Hell. And I will say that the ending, from the middle to the ending section, there were a lot of conveniences, I would say. And I do think that that does hold the movie back from being a better movie. There's just way too many conveniences of like, oh, now I just want a machete fight. It's like you could have just killed one of them or 2 of the 3 of them at this point already, and you didn't. So, oops. And them just getting to Mexico does seem like, again, a bit of a stretch, but okay. I'm letting, whatever. And, you know, I do think from a perspective of, like, we are following the killers in this movie, and the killers live. It's definitely something you don't see very commonly in terms of, like, oh, they are the protagonist, I suppose? You know, it's weird. Again, beyond vigilante, they are just murderers, and they are the characters we follow. And we have our character that wants his revenge, and then again, that kind of just falls apart there. So, you know, just tightening up your scripts, making sure that, you know, your motive of vengeance doesn't suddenly get erased at the last possible moment. It just seems a bit bizarre to do that. I would give this movie a 5 out of 10. I think the premise is pretty strong of like, oh, these are some bad people, and we're following their bad behavior. We're seeing how far they can possibly get before they die, and they don't die. I do think that is a strong premise, but again, I do have to knock it down quite a bit because of the amount of conveniences they are given within the context of the movie. So that's my review from 3 from Hell. If you enjoyed it, then please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, make sure to check out the links in the description. One will head you over to my Discord server, the other to my Patreon page. Any donations are greatly appreciated. And until next time, everyone, bye-bye.